Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Cruise and Review podcast. I'm Blake.
And I'm Audrey.
It is so good to have you with us once again here, episode number 9 of the Cruise and Review podcast. And we have covered a lot of good content, everything from the Southern Caribbean, our 7-night Southern Caribbean cruise. Last week's episode was trying to reason with hurricane season, debunking some popular cruise myths. And today we have a really exciting topic, and we were talking about the largest cruise ships in the land, and that is the Oasis class ships. We'll be speaking somewhat specifically about Allure of the Seas, but these ships cover Oasis of the Seas, Allure of the Seas, Harmony of the Seas, Symphony of the Seas, Wonder of the Seas, and coming in 2024, Utopia of the Seas.
I feel like we need like a drum roll.
I don't think there's a drum roll on the thing.
Utopia
No, there's
of
not
the
one.
Seas. Well,
It's got lots of things. It's got an opening. It's got applause. It's got, this is our soundboard, by the way. Gunshot. Not going to do that.
No.
Laughter. Booing.
Oh, for North Road
Awkward.
jokes.
I wonder what awkward does. I'm going to hit it. Hang on.
Well.
I have no idea what played because we can't hear it. But that'll be fun later.
Stay tuned.
So, welcome. And our rate just went
Yeah.
down like that. So that's what we're talking about today. And these are the largest cruise ships in the world. They are Royal Caribbean International ships. And they are unlike any other. Now, recently, there's been some trying to emulate that. MSC's got a few out that are pretty similar. But up until the last couple of years, there's really been nothing like them.
Yeah, and they're I think we said this on the last podcast, are my favorite cruise ships because there's anything and everything to do on these ships. Like if you find yourself being bored on one of these ships, I think Blake has said this before, you need to look in the mirror because
It's you, it's not them.
Yeah, because there's literally something for everyone on these ships. It's incredible what they fit on a cruise ship and that it's floating in the ocean from island to island. I mean, it really is. It's incredible.
If you've been on a cruise before, but you've never done Oasis class, I assure you've never seen anything like it. They are so large.
Yes.
Like cruise ships are big anyway. Like I'm always blown away at how big they are, even the ones that aren't among the largest. But the Oasis class, like the fact that it, like you said, it moves, is really just hard to wrap our head around. They launched in 2009 with Oasis of the Seas. That was our first Oasis class ship that we ever sailed on. It was the original, and then Allure of the Seas came out. Now, they're kind of busted up into different categories. So what we're talking about in today's episode, if you're looking at a cruise, again, that's Oasis, Allure, Harmony, Symphony, and Wonder, and the next year, Utopia. These are all very similar, and they have this very distinct design. We've talked about how big they are, but they're broken up into neighborhoods. And unlike any other ship, the middle of the ship is actually open. And you can see some video of this. The back part, you see it open, is boardwalk. Then you've got the center part is actually open. So it's like divided in two almost. That is Central Park. It's got trees. It's got a Central Park feel to it. And then on the back at the boardwalk, you've got the Aqua Theater. Again, there's just nothing like the design and the layout of these. Again, it's been emulated in the last couple of years, but really over the last decade and a half, they have been unmatched in what they look like.
Yeah.
And they feel like, and they have.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, honestly, they're so big, it's really hard to even feel that they're moving sometimes, especially if the water in the ocean is real calm. And, you find yourself in Central Park forgetting that you're on a cruise ship because there's so many live trees and lots of plants, bushes. I mean, there's all kinds of outdoor greenery around, but you kind of look around and you think, wait a minute, I'm on a moving boat. Like, I mean, I can't tell you how many times we've been on the Oasis class ships and you forget that for just a split second. I'm not going to say for a long time, but it's pretty neat.
Well, and that would probably be my one knock on them, is that at times you become out of touch with the fact you're sailing.
Yeah.
So if you're somebody that likes that, we'll talk about that here in a minute. It may be for you. Where can you go on these? You can go basically anywhere now. Used to be they were pretty limited to just the Caribbean. There is one, a lot of our viewership and listenership and followers are from the Arkansas, Missouri, Texas area. Allure of the Seas, which is some of the video you've been seeing that we got on our most recent cruise, which we sailed in April on an Allure of the Seas Oasis class vessel. It is in Texas, in Galveston, and it will be there till late this year, but then it will be replaced by Harmony of the Seas. Mm-hmm. So you can get on in Texas, Florida. There are plenty in Florida, but they sail to Europe, and Oasis of the Seas has actually been in New York.
Yeah.
So you can pretty well cover it anywhere you want to go. But we did sail on Allure of the Seas back in April. Mm-hmm. And mentioning Harmony of the Seas, so you might ask, are they a lot different? Maybe you're seeing some video here of Allure of the Seas. Are they a lot different? Well, they're kind of broken up. They're all laid out the same. You're going to get Central Park. You're going to get Boardwalk. You're going to get all these things. But one of the things that is different between them is you kind of got different categories of Oasis class. So the originals that came out were Oasis and Allure in 2009 and 2010. They're kind of the base, called the base model. Yeah. Then you had kind of the second generation Oasis class, which were Harmony and Symphony. They added the Ultimate Abyss. They added restaurants like Wonderland. They added some of these other things. Then we're on now third generation, what they're calling Oasis Plus, or Time Machine, the laser. It's Wonder of the Seas, which is the only one out right now on Oasis Plus. And then Utopia does come out in 2024.
Yes.
So, but what they're doing is as they renovate them, Oasis has already had this. They're adding the features of Oasis Plus to the original Oasis. So you're typically getting roughly the same thing. So, but if you're looking at a cruise on any of those ships, you're going to get this experience we're talking about.
Yeah. And again, when I tell you the amount of things that are on this cruise ship are mind-blowing. You know, you talk about the Ultimate Abyss. That's a slide. I think we talked a little bit about this on the last podcast, but that's a slide that can go from the sports deck, which is deck 14 or 15, and all the way down to the boardwalk, where you could go from, doing the zip line, playing putt-putt, and say, hey, I want to go get a hot dog on the boardwalk. Take the slide. So it's pretty incredible, and I know we're going to show some pictures or videos of the ship, and it's mind-blowing. It really is.
So they unveiled the neighborhood concept on these Oasis class ships. The neighborhoods are the Royal Promenade, which has been on every ship from Voyager on up. But the Royal Promenade is like double or triple the size. If you've ever been on a Royal Caribbean ship with a Royal Promenade, which is the center part of the ship, most ships have atriums, or kind of a general kind of forum in the middle, just one central area. The Royal Promenade runs the length of the ship, forward to back, inside, interior, almost like a shopping mall, an inside shopping mall. And it's almost twice the size as you would see on any other ship, is the Royal Promenade. Then you have Central Park, which we've told you about that. Central Park has the trees, it has the restaurant. I mean, it feels like you are in Central Park in New York. It's got restaurants, it's got a wine bar, they'll have music out there, live music. Yeah. And again, it's open air in the center part of the ship. Trees, plants. It just has such a cool atmosphere.
Yeah, and they've also got, open air bars that you can get drinks and sit around and listen to the music. I mean, it really is such a neat atmosphere, and especially at night, it's so hard to tell whether you're on a cruise ship or you're actually in Central Park in New York, because they've done such a good job with it.
And the atmosphere does change everywhere between, and that's kind of most cruise ships, but the atmosphere really changes in Central Park. It's lit up. It's got this nice ambience to it. Even though it's not as intimate to the ocean as maybe I would like, it is a really cool place to go and hang out, especially when the sun goes down. You can't really see the ocean outside anyway. Yeah. You can go ahead and do that. Another neighborhood is Entertainment Place. That's where the comedy club is. The casino is down there.
Yes. Studio B.
Yeah, Studio B is right there, which is the ice skating rink on board Royal Caribbean. The Boardwalk is another neighborhood. The Boardwalk is on the very back. It's another one of those open air in the center of the ship we're talking about. It runs on deck 6 all the way aft, and it's got restaurants. It's got the hot dog stand is down there. On certain ships, the Ultimate Abyss lands down there. And it ends with the Aqua Theater, which is where they perform the dive show. We'll get into that here in a minute, but you talk about ambience. There's a carousel.
Yeah. There's an arcade. Allure had an arcade in them. And there's also, most of the ships, the Oasis, Harmony, and Allure all had jungle gyms for kids on the boardwalk area. So that was kind of neat. That's also the home of the 2 rock walls. The Oasis class ships have 2 rock walls, not just one, also on the boardwalk. That's definitely my favorite place to be on the cruise. You know, on Allure, we stayed on deck 6, so our room was on deck 6. So I felt like we went out to the boardwalk quite a bit.
It's kind of got this Coney Island,
Yeah.
almost like a Santa Monica Pier vibe to it. You can see the ocean kind of out the back. Again, the Aqua Theater's back there, which is unlike anything on any cruise ship anywhere. And again, there's restaurants open air on Allure of the Seas. Sabor, which is one of my favorite specialty restaurants on board Royal Caribbean, is located there. And it's outside. It's open. You can get margaritas. You can have tacos, and you're out there outside on this boardwalk.
Yeah, it's really neat. And even Norse Frog enjoyed some time at Sabor. He also loves to ride the carousel. So every time we go by it, if they're running, we ride the carousel. Sabor on Oasis, when we went to Oasis, they had a seafood restaurant. I don't think it's there anymore.
No.
But when we went on Oasis, they had a seafood restaurant that was open air. Johnny Rockets is usually, you find it inside the boardwalk, plus some shopping. There's a little bit different shopping in each of the areas, which I do think is also interesting for those that do love to shop or enjoy that tax-free shopping on the cruise ships. Each of the neighborhoods have different shops that you would find in those type of areas. So, you know, in Central Park, it's a little bit more upscale shopping. You're going to have your Coach store, your Michael Kors store. On the boardwalk, you're going to have a little bit more of your clothing store that's got your beach attire, your flip-flops, you know, and then, of course, on the Royal Promenade, you're going to have your Royal Caribbean shop. You're going to have, I think, the Allure had a Kate Spade store, so it kind of changes depending on which neighborhood you're in, which I also think is pretty cool.
Oh, yeah, it's whatever experience you're desiring.
Yeah,
I mean, that's,
absolutely.
You know, you're in a mood to be, you know, maybe you're dressed up for elegant night, something like that, and you want to go and be somewhere. Central Park maybe for you. You're wanting to run around in your flip-flops and grab something lighter to eat and hang out.
Yeah.
Boardwalk may be for you. Then there's always the Royal Promenade to fall back on. And again, as we just named these things, we're just reeling off. And this is on one part of the ship.
Yeah.
That's what's mind-blowing about this. But that's the boardwalk. You have the pool and the sports zone, which those on Oasis-class ships are unlike any other.
Yes. They've even added some water slides. Harmony of the Seas had some water slides. So in addition to the dry slide in the back, they had the water slides. They also have the 2 flow riders, which is pretty cool, plus the putt-putt, and my favorite thing to do, the zip line.
Yep, we got some video of Audrey and Mom doing the. They wouldn't let Norse Frog. On the zip line. By the way, executive producer Norse Frog. Yeah. He is the man with the plan. But they wouldn't let him on. He was too small, very small. It's kind of windy up there, and
he's only 18 inches.
He catches wind, it's gone, you know. But but Audrey did the zip line.
Yes,
and it's over, probably about 10 decks up above the boardwalk, from one side to the other.
Yeah, and it cracks me up every time I do that. You think about, you know, kind of after you're done. I just plunged off of a cruise ship. Now, granted, you are tethered to the zip line and you got your harness on, but you have to step off. And there's a gigantic hole down, you know, below you, and you go across a cruise ship while the boat is moving, you know, and so the whole concept of that is pretty mind-blowing, but it's definitely one of my favorite things. The zip line and the carousel are definitely my 2 favorite things to do on board an Oasis-class ship.
Some more neighborhoods, of course, you got the Vitality Spa and Fitness Center, which are the largest that I've ever seen on a cruise ship.
Yep.
The Youth Zone, which is, you know, where the youth hang out, man. It's where the cool kids hang out, man. It's where the cool kids hang out. And then you have the Suite neighborhood, which is only available at this point on Wonder of the Seas, also available on Utopia of the Seas. So those are your neighborhoods, all right? But the entertainment is another thing. Second to none entertainment.
Yeah.
There will be something every evening. And I know you've heard it. Cruise ship entertainment can be very average. I'm not going to argue with you. The shows not on Oasis-class ships. You have Broadway West End. Shows like Cats, Mamma Mia, Hairspray, Grease is on Harmony of the Seas. Yeah. Just shows like that. So unrivaled theater shows. You have the Aqua Show, which is one of my favorites. We'll show you some video of the Aqua Theater. The top part of this, somebody dives off of that into this pool, and it turns into a stage, and then it's a
lot of animatronics with the pool. They've got divers underneath. You know, it's really cool. It allows the divers to, you know, stay underwater, and then when the stage rises up, the swimmers or the aqua cast comes up off, like you said, the pool turns into a stage and turns back into a pool. They've got acrobats going on all around you. I mean, it's such a live action show. It's so cool.
They'll walk tight ropes. They'll jump on trampolines.
Yeah.
There's so much going. They'll rappel down. And all of this while you're outside with the fresh kind of sea breeze. You know, kind of hear the ocean. It is just a second to none show. We've seen it on Harmony, Oasis, and Allure now. It's on every Oasis class ship. I've got to see it, and it's one of the highlights of the trip every time.
I think we always try to book it on night one because we're so excited about getting to go see it. So that one plus the Broadway shows, I mean, you're not going to miss on the entertainment for sure on the Oasis class ships.
There's also a comedy club. There's an ice show, which those are Voyager class and up on Royal Caribbean. They have ice skating rinks. They do an ice show, and the ice show is spectacular.
Yeah.
It is so good. And they're doing it at sea, and the boat's moving. Now, Oasis class don't move as much, but it's just so impressive. So, Broadway shows. They also do an original production show, which is mind-blowing on all these ships. Aqua show, divers, acrobats, comedy club, and then an ice show. Squeeze that in 7 days.
Yeah, and I also want to point out that the ice show is, yes, it's on a moving boat, but they're doing the same stuff they're doing, you know, let's say when you watch the Olympics, but the ice rink is maybe a fourth of the size because you are on a cruise ship, but the tricks and the flips and the spins and the turns and the jumps, what they're doing on a moving boat, I mean, is incredible. It really is. And the show we saw on the Allure here, the last cruise we went on, was definitely one of my favorites. So I highly recommend Allure of the Seas.
And if you like entertainment, if you're a show person, Broadway person, you just like being entertained, Oasis class is for you.
Yes.
Some other things that they have. One of my favorite venues on the entire ship that you won't find on any other ship is the Rising Tide Bar.
Yes. Yep. I'm sure we're going to have some video and pictures of that too. But that bar is so neat because you can actually go from one deck to another while you're sitting down.
You actually go up 3 decks.
Yeah.
You're from 6 to 8. So you're on deck 6, then you hit 7, and then you end up on deck 8. So you start on 6 or 8. You can get on at either place. At some point, they shut it off. You're having drinks. There's waiters on board.
Yes.
And it will either go down or up depending on where you catch it at. You get a great view of the promenade.
Yes.
During the shows, like 70s Dance Party, they'll actually stop at midway up. But you got to sit there for a really long time.
Yeah,
people know about that now.
Yeah.
I don't fight that. I don't do stuff like that. It's a waste of time. But if you want to do that, you can. But it is such a character. Some of the ships have the bionic bar, which is the robotic arm that actually you put it in on an iPad and then it makes the drinks.
Yeah.
And then it just spits it out to you. It's a robot bartender. North Stroke's scared of it.
Yeah, he doesn't like it when we go there.
But besides that, the food options also are on another level. I think about the things that are different. All ships pretty well have specialty restaurants. We've got our favorites. We've talked about Giovanni's Table. We've talked about some of our favorites on the show before. But this one thing it has, Park Cafe.
Yeah.
It's in Central Park. You bust in. They've got sandwiches. They've got salads, fresh made, fruit, soup. In the morning, they've got just lighter breakfast and pastries. And that is. But then you also have the boardwalk where they got the dog house, hot dogs. In the mornings, they have donuts.
Yeah.
Freshly made out there.
All included in your cruise fee.
Right.
No extra charge for those.
Right. Hibachi. All of them have hibachi, like with the knives and
the fried rice where they make it on the grill in front of you, and then they do that thing with the egg where they throw it in, you try to catch it in your mouth, and then they, and with the hibachi they bring out steak, shrimp, lobster, chicken, and they're cooking it all right in front of you. And again, that's something exclusive to the Oasis class ships right now. I mean. And it's incredible. That's a fun thing to do.
It really is. And so Azumi, if you've had an Azumi before on a Royal Caribbean ship, this is Azumi Hibachi.
It's like 100 times better.
It is
regular
really
Azumi is
good.
great, but Azumi Hibachi, ooh.
Some of them have Wonderland, which is a unique take on cuisine. They kind of have fun with your food. Like, it's hard to describe. You just need to go there.
Yeah.
It's kind of expensive, but just go there.
Yeah.
Trust me. And eat whatever they give you.
It's an experience.
And if you're a picky eater, don't go in there.
No.
You're not going to like it. But if you're kind of like open to trying new things, you're not going to like everything in there. But if you're open to trying new things, it's a really cool place.
Yep.
As well. And then, of course, they've got your generics, Giovanni's Table, Chops Grill. All of those things are on board.
Pizza.
Sabor. You got pizza.
The main dining room.
And the thing is, you can go to the buffet.
Yeah.
You can go to the dining room. Or you can eat at a different place every day. And never go into the dining room.
Yeah.
You can never eat the same place twice every single meal. And like on the Oasis class, there are quite a bit more people. Or if it's crowded, well, like for example, breakfast. You can have breakfast at Johnny Rockets. You can have breakfast in the buffet. You can do room service. You can get a donut from the boardwalk.
Yes.
Everybody just kind of spreads out and goes their own way depending
Yes.
on their own taste. And I found that they feel very uncrowded because of that reason.
Yes, absolutely. Now, I also want to say that I feel like for a little bit, the Johnny Rockets breakfast thing was a well-kept secret. I know.
And then we told people about it.
You just shared the secret because people
They
didn't
knew
realize.
about it before now because the last cruise it was really crowded.
Yeah, but what people didn't realize was that that's complimentary at breakfast. So you can get, cook to order eggs, you can get pancakes, you can get anything, that really you would want for breakfast. And it's a sit down, they bring it to you, it's not necessarily, it's not a buffet where you have to go get your own food. But that's a well-kept secret that unfortunately I think is getting out. But it's definitely a good thing to know if you do go on an Oasis class ship. There's multiple options for breakfast besides the buffet. But again, one of my favorite things
Multiple
about
options for
those
breakfast,
ships.
multiple options for lunch, multiple options for dinner.
Yes. Snack, even. Yes.
Yeah. You can, again, it is what you make it. This is like the world is your oyster. If you want oysters, yeah, I bet you can find them.
Yeah.
The final thing I want to add about this, and we get a lot of concerns, and I've been known, I make quips about people that, and I really don't mean anything by it, but there's two people that we get a lot of concerns with. We get one, people that are scared of motion sickness. Mm-hmm. I understand that one probably more than anything, mostly because Audrey deals a lot with motion sickness. If you're a person concerned about this, when you tell me that, my mind immediately goes to Oasis class.
Yes.
Because they're so large. They are so big. You don't know they're moving. And I mean that. We have taken people on them. We've sent people on, like, man, you could not tell it was moving. Mm-hmm. And I mean that. We sailed through a storm. And we talked about it on the last episode, trying to reason with hurricane season. We sailed through a storm, a pretty good storm, about 70-mile-an-hour winds, about 20-foot waves. You could not feel the ship move unless you got to the extreme front or the extreme back. But down in the promenade, could not feel it at all.
Nope.
It was, I've been on ships with a lot less swells that we felt them rocking and rolling. It's unbelievable. So if you're worried about that, the second time, this one I have just a little bit harder time dealing with. And that's I think I would get bored on a cruise ship. And that just, that makes me want to, it just sounds so, spoiled, I guess. Like, what are you doing every single day that you're so entertained that you're not entertained?
Yes. Yeah. What vacation?
And I know people, they don't understand it.
No,
I don't think.
Until you've gone, you really don't understand.
But it's like you want to go to the same beach destination and wait 3 hours to eat crappy seafood.
Yeah. When you could go to a different beach every day.
Yeah.
You could go have a different place to eat every single day. You could, not have to stand in a line, see Broadway. Hey, and guess what? The best part, you don't have to drive anywhere.
And I derailed us a little bit there. I don't mean to, because I was trying to make a point. If you're that person, this is also for you.
Yes.
If you think, I'll get bored on a sea day, I promise you won't.
Not on these ships.
You do anything.
Yeah.
The kids can go do one thing. You can go do another. Mm-hmm. You will not get bored. And if you do get bored, again, it's you. It's not the ship.
Yeah.
And big compliments to the Allure of the Seas crew on this last cruise. They had so many staff. The staff were so good.
Yes. The
ship was in great condition. Really a positive experience. And a lot of times you do get some really solid crew on these larger ships. Mm-hmm. It's such an act. They have to put their best people on them. And I am just a huge fan. The negatives to them, if you do like intimacy with the ocean, if you do like feeling like you're on the ocean, you're not going to get a lot of that on this one. Now, they stop in great places.
Yes.
A lot more ports can accommodate them than they used to. But if you are somebody that you enjoy that, I kind of enjoyed that. I've always kind of been more of a smaller ship guy. Audrey loves the larger ships.
Yeah.
But every time I go on them, I have a really good time. I always really enjoy it. But if you are looking for something more intimate with the ocean, might go to a smaller ship. But if you're somebody, you like activities, you don't want to be bored, you like variety in your food, you want to do your own thing and have your own personalized experience, and you don't want to get seasick, Oasis class ships, Oasis of the Seas, Allure of the Seas, Harmony of the Seas, Symphony of the Seas, Wonder of the Seas, and then Utopia of the Seas. Why am I so hoarse?
I was wondering.
Give me that water. Give me that water. What is happening?
Did you and Norshfog get
I didn't
into
sound
it?
like this. No.
Earlier, I'm just so confused. I've been sitting here wondering for the last however long we've been doing this is just to why you said
I smoked a cigarette with Norris Frog right before I came on the show.
He's a liability.
He is. He's just a bad influence.
But I will say he loves Oasis class ships because the casino is much larger. There's plenty of bars. There's places where he can go and get away from the kids. And the list goes on. But, and the carousel, I've mentioned that before. He loves the carousel. And Sabor. He loves Sabor.
Yeah. He had a good time in Sabor on Allure of the Seas.
Yeah.
And,
made friends.
Yes. He had a really good time on board Allure of the Seas. And he made a friend in Sabor. The waiter made him drinks, and he just threw down. He rode the carousel.
He rode the frog on the carousel.
He did ride the frog on the carousel. Had a really good time. And again, you want to talk about the crew being fun. We walked into a restaurant with a Build-A-Bear, and they gave him the same great service they would give you. They will even serve Build-A-Bears. And he deals with that sometimes.
He does.
Trouble with that. Not everybody serves Build-A-Bears. It's very upsetting because I don't even know where I was going with that, but that's beside the point.
But he had a good time. Everybody had a good time.
Oasis class ships,
Yes.
Oasis of the Seas, Allure of the Seas, Harmony of the Seas, Symphony of the Seas, Wonder of the Seas, and of course coming up, Utopia of the Seas. World's largest cruise ships as it stands, but they're not going to be the world's largest cruise ships for long.
No.
Because they're actually, and I never thought we would see the day that there would be a ship larger than Oasis of the Seas.
Yeah.
But there is. It's going to be the Icon of the Seas. It's Royal Caribbean's newest ship coming out in January of 2024. And folks, it is unlike any other cruise ship. Take a look.
Aquadome is the combination of evolution and revolution. We've always had an aqua theater experience. With Icon, it's completely transformed. It is this enormous, beautiful space.
So here's what we will do. If you will be the first person to book an Icon of the Seas, I almost said Allure of the Seas, an Icon of the Seas cruise with us, you'll be the first person to book one, we'll give you your commission back. That's what we're doing. I just made that up. We will give you our portion. We don't know how much that'll be, but I'm guessing on probably a 7-night cruise on Icon of the Seas, you're looking at around $200. We'll give you that back. You can have that as spending money. We can buy you a special restaurant, whatever you want. We will give you that back if you'll be the first person to book Icon of the Seas. Guys, this is a ship unlike any other.
Yeah.
We've just talked about this. This is like 2-3 steps up from what we just talked about. And
it's
I
hard
never
to
thought
believe
it is hard to believe. It's hard for me to wrap my head around it. But the entertainment, Wizard of Oz.
Wizard of Oz.
They still got Aqua Show. They still got all these things we mentioned, but plus some new restaurants, new bars. It's going to be something else.
Yeah,
and we want to send you on it.
Infinity pools. They're going to have infinity pools. They're going to have a big water park kind of in the back of the ship. The Aqua Theater is moving. The Aqua shows are going to be moving closer to the front. And in the back, they're going to have a water park for kids. I mean, it's going to be incredible. It's like no other. I mean, I feel like we said that when Oasis and every time they released a new ship. This one's going to be like, nothing we've ever seen before. But literally, this one is like nothing we've ever seen before.
And I talked about one of my complaints about the Oasis class ships is the intimacy with the ocean. They have really kind of turned the tables on that. Yeah. On Icon of the Seas, the swimming pools are infinity type pools. They overlook the ocean. They've really kind of flipped the ship inside out from what you would see with these Oasis class vessels. So super pumped about that. We want to send somebody on an Icon of the Seas cruise. Yes. And so if you want to book it with CruiseNReview, we'll give you our payment. When we say our commission, you don't pay any more for the cruise. You're not paying us anything. You're paying the same amount whether you book online with the cruise line or you book with us. But we're actually taking what we make off of that, which is a commission fee from the cruise line, which if you don't book with us, you still pay that. They just take it. You give it to us. What we'll do is we will give that back to you just simply because we want somebody to go on this ship. So first person to do it, it's a race to the finish line. First person to book Icon of the Seas with us, we'll get that back, our commission back.
Send us a message if you're interested. Give us a call. Fill out the form on our website, whatever's the best way you want to do it, whatever's easiest for you.
Yeah, go to CruiseNReview.com, click on that book travel section, fill the form out as best you can. Doesn't have to be all the way complete. We will contact you and get you started. Be sure to follow us on all socials. Hit the subscribe button on YouTube. Yes. Make sure you subscribe, get all of our latest videos. If you want to listen to us, we've got all kinds of content that is already loaded. There's a previous 8 episodes on there between trying to reason with hurricane season, all these destinations, St. Lucia, St. Martin, St. Kitts, Barbados, San Juan. We've got that cruise on there. You can go listen to all those. If you want to listen, maybe you're going on a road trip. You just, anywhere you get your podcast, you just search for Cruise in Review, Cruise the letter in Review, to get all of those. Or you can go to cruisereview.com/podcast. That will give you all of these options. But again, lots coming up. So on our show next week, which I'm not exactly sure on the exact dates of the show. It's next Thursday. The shows come out every Thursday.
I think it's the 22nd.
The 22nd. That makes sense.
Yeah.
It's 7 days past the 15th. So the 22nd is our next show. And we are actually going to be taking you, when we went on Allure of the Seas, we went to 3 stops. We went to Honduras, we went to Costa Maya, and we went to Cozumel. We're going to be taking you to this awesome little town that we went to in Mexico. It's away from Costa Maya, but it's not Costa Maya. It's the town where most of the people live.
Yeah.
It's called Mahahual is the name of the town. We're going to take you there. We went there to this really local place, this cool place with cool people on these nice, pretty beach with great service and great food and cheap drinks. So we're going to take you to Mahahual,
Yes.
which is near Costa Maya. So if you've been to Costa Maya but you've not been to Mahahual, you've not been there.
Nope.
We're going to take you there, video, pictures, all kinds of stuff on our next episode, which is June 22nd, thanks to the assist from Mark up there. Absolutely. While North Strong just sat quietly in the background. Oh, hang on. This has been the Cruise Interview Podcast. Be sure to subscribe at CruiseNReview.com for more content. Follow us on all socials at Cruise in Review. I'm Blake.
And I'm Audrey.
And that is Norris Frog, our executive producer. We will see you next time when we talk about Mahahual. Bye for now.